Hello, Queens and Kings. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. Today, we will be doing two things. Number one, I'll be mourning the loss of this headband. Number two, we'll be turning this headband to this. So we'll be putting beads on our headband. So let's get started. This headband, I'm gonna miss it. Let's get started. So at first, I was looking for a plain headband, but unfortunately, I couldn't find it. So I ended up looking for it at Pep. So I got this one. It was 29 rand, 99, so it's 30 rands. So the first thing that I'm going to do is remove the pink part because I see they put glue on it. Remove it, and then I'll be back. So this is my headband after I've removed the material that was on top. So if you have a plain headband, the plastic, the one that is not covered, I really would suggest that you cover it with a black material. Usually the material that you use for leggings, a thick material, and black is the best material that you can use because black is neutral. So when you cover your material, you cover from the bottom and you join your material at the top. You see the very same way that they did here. Here on top, because this is the part that you're going to cover. So the bottom part of your headband should be nice and neat. And then you make your belt, the belt that will go into your headband. So while you're making your belt, the first thing when you're starting to do your belt, you measure the thickness. You focus on the center of your headband, this part of your headband, because that's the thickest part of your headband. As you move to the sides, it gets smaller. So the thickness should fit the center of your headband nicely. So that's the part where you have to make sure that it fits nicely when you are creating your belt. So first you check the thickness. I'll put a link below to a video where I thoroughly describe how to make your belt thick and thin. And then after determining the thickness from your foundation, you continue with any pattern that you want. And then the next step is to make the correct length, the length that is suitable for your headband. So now those points are checked. Let's move on into starting on putting our belt onto our headband. I have my needle and I have black cotton. It's not upholstery thread that we usually have. It's I think it's sewing cotton. So you have to start here at the end. Then you measure it correctly and nicely and make sure that as you go along, it will fit perfectly. So I have my pexes here with me just to make sure that everything is nice and steady while I'm working on the other side. I insert my pegs. So just make sure that everything is in place, because as I'm sewing the belt on, it will be a bit and it will shift a bit. So just to be sure and to make things more comfortable for me. So I'm going to start on this end. I'm going to start from the inside. Start from the inside. And to tuck it in nicely first before I come for it. I managed to poke it nicely. The reason you're starting from the inside is so that the knot of your thread will not show. And then you come back. It's like you're making a loop around, but you're moving with your needle. Then you pull. So the trick is to make sure that your thread falls in between your beads. See? So that it does not look like, so that your thread will not show. Then you do the same throughout. On this side, I'm just going to move around this edge. See, so I poked it moving up. Oopsie. Then I pull. And then I lay it in between the beads so it doesn't show. So this part is quite bigger in size. The belt is bigger in size than the headband. I keep saying bangle in my head. Headband, né? So you have to, the belt will fall on the sides. So you're going to keep doing that. Even poke here. Just poke it up. Pull your needle. And make sure that the loop that you created falls in between your beads like this. So it does not show. Then I'll keep doing that over and over again until I get to this side. So I moved a bit until I got to this part. So I'm going to continue on this side and move and turn around and then do the bottom part. So when you're on the side, you're going to poke your corner like this. You poke your corner, the material that's in the corner, and then it will come out in this hole, and then you pull. And then make sure your thread becomes a spy. No one should tell where it is. See? Nice and neat. So it's very advisable that if you have your thread should be the color of your material. So you should try very much so that your thread is not visible, or maybe not easily visible. Do this and pull and pull throughout. I poke from the corner and then through the hole this hole, through this hole, and then I pull. So I'm going to do that up until I get to the other end. So I finally got to this end, and if you look closely, you can be able to see the stitches on the side. So now I have to do the other end. So I'm going to turn. I poke from the inside. Do the very same thing. This glue is making it so hard. And then I make sure that the loop lands in between the beads. I direct it with my finger like this, you see? Then I do the very same thing on this end. This end again. Then I pull. Make sure that the loop lands in between the beads like this. I do that until I come to the side. I finally got to the other end, and I'm just gonna do the last stitch. So insert my needle into the hole, I pull, and then using my fingers I make sure that the thread lands in between the beads, so nice and secure. Let me do just one more. Yeah, and then I'm going to tie my thread. So I do the very same thing, but instead of, I insert my needle into that loop that is created, and then I pull. Then I make sure it lands in between the beads. Insert my needle again. Another person might ask, why can't I just put glue on it? Well, it's doable, but it won't be as neat, because for this stitch, remember this stitch, I secured it twice, and then I'm done. Just gonna cut the thread out of, and there we have it, our nice bracelet, I mean headband. There we have it, nice and gorgeous and nicely made. See here on the side. So back to the glue question. So for this stitch, you have these holes that are in between. So sometimes, for example, when you use glue, when it dries out, the glue might peek out of the holes, making it untidy, like hot gun glue. Even when you use fabric glue, it will show out from the holes. So the stitch of the that we use on its own will not allow you to use a glue. You can, but it will be very untidy because the glue will keep showing. And remember, the important part of beadwork is so that a person looking from the outside can't see how you did. how you did it, and what method you use. It has to be nice and neat. Thank you so much, queens and queens, kings and queens. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so, so much. If you love the content that you're seeing, please consider subscribing. Remember to love, I didn't say this in on the previous video. Remember to love yourself, respect yourself, be good to yourself, and have fun. Thank you so much for one of our queen and or king that sent the request for this headband, and see you on the next video. Bye.